Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing great today. In this video, we're talking about something that stops many learners from speaking freely. It's grammar. Yes, grammar is important, but thinking too much about rules can slow you down and make you nervous. Today, I'll show you how to focus on simple habits that help you speak more naturally and with more confidence. This topic is important because fluency grows when you stop worrying and start using real English. So stay with me, relax, and let's learn how to speak without letting grammar block your progress. Let's start with something many English learners feel but rarely talk about. You know a lot of grammar rules. You studied them in school. You learned tenses. You learned sentence structure. You learned what is correct and what is wrong. But when it is time to speak, your mind feels heavy. You pause. You think. You try to remember a rule you studied years ago, and then the moment is gone. The conversation moves forward, and you stay quiet. This happens to many learners around the world. It is not because you are bad at English. It is because grammar is sitting in your head like a big block. It stops your natural flow. Today, we are going to understand why this happens and what you can do instead. Imagine you are talking to a friend. You want to say a simple sentence. Maybe something like, I went to the market yesterday. But instead of saying it, your brain starts thinking, wait, is it went or have gone? Should I say yesterday at the end or in the beginning? Do I need the article the? And while you are thinking, your friend is waiting. You start to feel shy, stressed, or embarrassed. You finally say something, but it sounds broken or slow. And after the conversation, you think, why can I understand English but not speak it smoothly? The problem is not your knowledge. The problem is the pressure to be perfect that many learners speak well when they are alone, when no one is watching, when there is no fear of making mistakes. But when they speak with another person, their brain switches into performance mode. It tries to follow every grammar rule at the same time. But your brain cannot do that in real time. Even native speakers do not do that. Native speakers break grammar rules all the time. They say things like I ain't got it, or she don't know, or me and my friend went there. Are these grammar perfect sentences? No, but they are natural. They are fluent. And people understand them. So why do learners worry so much? It is because many schools teach English like math. They focus on rules, structure, diagrams, and tests. They make students feel that mistakes are dangerous. They give red marks for every small error. They train students to think before speaking. But natural English is not like that. Real English is fast, messy, and flexible. People speak quickly. They change sentences halfway. They shorten words. They use simple patterns again and again. They don't think about grammar the way learners do. They focus on meaning, not perfection. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine someone asks you, what did you do this morning? You know how to answer, but your mind may try to create a perfect sentence. You think, should I say I woke up early and I ate breakfast? Or I woke up early, then I ate breakfast? Should I use past simple or present perfect? Should I add also? Should I add at 8 a.m.? But a native speaker might answer with something very simple like I woke up, had breakfast, and left. Or even just had breakfast, then went out. They are not thinking about perfection. They are thinking about communication. Their goal is to be understood, not to sound like a grammar textbook. Let's try a small dialogue to see how grammar blocks fluency. Imagine you are the learner. Someone asks you, so, how's your day going? You want to answer, it's going well. I'm working on a project. But your brain goes into overthinking mode. You think, should I say it is or it's? Should I say good or well? Should I say I work on or I am working on? Should project be singular or plural? And the other person is still waiting. But what if you answered simply, good, working on a project? This is natural. It is not wrong. It is short. And the conversation keeps flowing. there is something important to understand. Fluency does not mean perfect grammar. Fluency means smooth communication. Fluency means speaking without freezing. Fluency means sharing ideas in a natural way. You can improve grammar slowly, but you cannot speak fluently if you are always scared of mistakes. Think about children learning English. They make mistakes every minute. They say things like, I go there or daddy bite it. And no one corrects them every time. But they still learn fast. Why? Because they are allowed to speak freely without pressure. They use English in daily life. They try again and again. And with time, they fix their mistakes naturally. Adults learn differently. Adults want to avoid mistakes. Adults feel embarrassed. Adults want to sound smart or correct. But this slows progress. You do not need perfect English to speak clearly. You need confidence, simple structure, and practice. Let's explore why grammar blocks your fluency in a deeper way. Grammar is a tool for writing, testing, and understanding structure. But speaking is a fast skill. You cannot think and speak at the same time. It's like driving a car. When you learn to drive, you think about every small movement. You think about the mirror, the pedals, the gear, the road, the people crossing. But after months of practice, you don't think. You just drive. Speaking works the same way. But if you focus too much on grammar, it's like stopping the car every 5 seconds to check the instruction manual. Another reason grammar blocks fluency is fear. When your goal is to speak perfectly, you stop yourself every time you feel unsure. You cannot talk smoothly because you are judging your own words while speaking. It's like walking while checking your shoes with every step. You cannot move naturally. Here is another small example. You want to say, I don't know where he went, but you think maybe I should say, I don't know where has he gone, or I don't know where he has gone. You hesitate, and then you say nothing. But native speakers say the simple version all the time. I don't know where he went. They don't analyze the grammar. They just use the common pattern. Let's try imagining a beginner learner and a native speaker in a conversation. The learner tries to recall grammar rules. The native speaker uses simple patterns. The learner is thinking, I must speak correctly. The native speaker is thinking, I must understand and reply. The goals are different. That difference creates pressure. Let's look at another situation. You are ordering food at a restaurant. The waiter says, what would you like? And you want to say something simple, like, I would like chicken with rice. But the grammar thinking brain starts again. Should I say I want or I would like? Should it be chicken with rice or chicken and rice? Should I say please at the end or the beginning? All this thinking makes you nervous. But a native speaker might simply say chicken with rice please, or even just chicken and rice. The waiter understands. Communication is complete. Let me share another example from real English life. Imagine two friends talking. Hey, you coming? Yeah, I'm coming. Where are we meeting? At the mall. Cool, see you there. If you try to turn this into perfect grammar, it becomes, are you coming? Yes, I am coming. Where are we meeting? We are meeting at the mall. That is fine, but real speech is shorter, faster, and simpler. Learners often try to speak like formal grammar books while native speakers speak like humans. A big problem is that many learners wait for the perfect moment to speak. They wait until they know enough grammar. They wait until they feel ready. But the truth is, you never feel fully ready. Fluency grows when you use English, not when you store it in your head. Let's talk about something interesting. Many learners say they understand English movies, YouTube videos, or conversations, but they cannot speak with the same flow. This is normal because listening is a passive skill and speaking is an active skill. When listening, you do not need to produce sentences. You do not need to follow grammar rules. You just understand the general message. But speaking is like building something with your hands. You must choose words, connect them, and deliver them instantly. This is where grammar blocks the process. One more example. You want to say, I didn't see him today. It's a simple idea. but your brain goes did not or didn't, see or saw. Do I need today at the beginning? Should I add anything else? And you pause. But the natural version can be very simple. Didn't see him today. You don't always need full sentences to speak clearly. Many learners believe full sentences show good English. But in real conversation, broken sentences are natural and fine. People often answer with just a few words. They say things like not yet, maybe later, wait a second, 1 minute, too busy today, sounds good, all set, no idea. These are not grammar-focused sentences. They are communication-focused answers. Let's do a small practice inside this script. Imagine someone asks, "Are you free tomorrow?" Your grammar-thinking brain might try to say, "I am not sure yet. I think I will be free in the afternoon, but I need to check my schedule first." But a fluent, natural answer could be, "Not sure yet. Maybe afternoon. Need to check." Simple answers keep the flow alive. Now let's talk about the real reason you should not let grammar control your speaking. The goal of speaking is connection. You speak to share feelings, ideas, thoughts, and stories. You speak to build relationships. You speak to understand and be understood. If grammar slows you down, then it stops you from connecting with people. That is the real problem. Think about times when you talked with someone in your own language. Did you think about grammar? Most likely no. You just spoke. Your thoughts moved fast, and the words followed. That's how English should feel. Simple, natural, comfortable. Another reason grammar blocks fluency is because you are learning many rules that native speakers do not even know. If you ask a native speaker about terms like past perfect continuous or second conditional, many of them cannot explain it. But they use these patterns naturally. They learn through listening, speaking, and repeating, not through rules. You need the same approach when speaking. Now, let's talk about the emotional side. Many learners feel afraid of being judged. They think people will laugh at their mistakes. But in real life, people do not care. They only care about understanding you. Native speakers talk to millions of learners each day. They are used to different accents, different styles, different levels. They will not judge you for mistakes. They will appreciate your effort. Let's imagine a classroom situation. A student says, "Yesterday I go to park." The teacher immediately stops the student and says, "No, no. Yesterday I went to the park." The student becomes nervous, loses confidence, and stops speaking. This kind of environment makes learners silent. But if the teacher allowed the sentence and corrected later, the student would continue speaking and learning naturally. Let's create one more small dialogue to show how communication works even with mistakes. A learner says, "I buy this yesterday." A native speaker understands, "You bought it yesterday." The learner says yes, and the conversation continues. The message is clear. The mistake did not block communication. The learner learned a natural correction, and fluency remained alive. Fluency grows from repeated use, not from perfect use. You cannot become fluent without speaking, even if you know all grammar. Many learners think they must complete grammar before speaking. But grammar is not a staircase you finish. Grammar is a toolbox you use slowly. Speaking is the real practice. Now let's connect all these ideas. Grammar becomes a block when you allow it to control your speech. When you try to speak perfectly, you slow down. When you slow down, you lose confidence. When you lose confidence, you stop speaking. When you stop speaking, you lose fluency. This is the cycle many learners fall into. But the good news is you can break this cycle by changing your focus. We will continue this in part 2, where we will talk about what you should do instead of focusing on grammar, how to build natural habits, and how to practice speaking in a simple and free way. Now let's talk about what you should do instead of letting grammar control your speaking. In part 1, we talked about how grammar blocks your fluency. Now we focus on how to break that block and speak freely, naturally, and with confidence. The goal here is not to ignore grammar forever. The goal is to use grammar in a smarter, lighter way so it supports your speech instead of slowing you down. The first step is to shift your focus from rules to patterns. Patterns are short, simple structures that people use again and again in daily life. They are easy to learn, easy to remember, and easy to use. For example, phrases like I want to, I need to, I'm going to, I'm trying to, I'm working on, and I don't know if. These patterns help you speak fast because your brain does not need to build sentences from zero. You start with a ready-made base and then add small pieces. So instead of thinking about grammar rules, think about pattern building. Let's try an example to see how powerful patterns are. Imagine the pattern, I want to. You can attach anything at the end. I want to learn English. I want to improve my speaking. I want to travel. I want to buy a new phone. I want to go home. You do not think about verbs or tenses or structure. You simply use the pattern. This small change reduces mental pressure and helps you speak more smoothly. Here is another useful pattern. I'm not sure. This simple pattern works in so many situations. Are you free tomorrow? I'm not sure. Do you know where he is? I'm not sure. Do you like this movie? I'm not sure. Instead of trying to create perfect sentences, you can rely on natural patterns. This keeps the conversation moving. Another helpful pattern is I think. You can use it anytime you want to share an idea. I think it's good. I think she is busy. I think we should go. I think this will help me. It's simple and natural. If you use patterns often, your fluency will become automatic. You will not freeze. You will not worrying about grammar rules every second. Now let's talk about an important idea. Natural fluency comes from listening to real English, not from studying grammar charts. The more you hear natural English, the more your brain absorbs the rhythm, structure, and common patterns. It's like music. You cannot learn music by reading about beats and notes. You learn by listening. English works the same way. Your ears train your mouth. For example, if you watch English videos every day, you start to notice how people connect words, how they shorten sentences, how they speak without thinking too much. You begin to copy the style naturally. Listening gives you a natural model, and speaking becomes easier without studying grammar. This is why listening and repeating is one of the best methods for fluency. Listen to a short English clip. Pause, repeat the same line. Not in a perfect way, but in a natural way. Even if your sentence is not 100% correct, you are training real fluency. You are building speaking muscles. Let's take a simple sentence. I didn't understand that. You can repeat it until it feels easy. I didn't understand that. Then you try a small change. I didn't understand him. I didn't understand the question. I didn't understand what she said. You see, you are learning by using, not by analyzing. Another helpful way to break the grammar block is to speak before thinking. I know this sounds strange, but it works. When you think too much, your brain slows down. But when you speak first, your brain starts to follow your voice. You can start answers simply, even if you are unsure. For example, if someone asks you a question and you don't know what to say, you can begin with, well, let me think, or maybe. These small starter words give you 1 or 2 seconds to prepare your idea while still keeping the flow. Imagine this conversation. What are your weekend plans? Well, maybe I'll rest. Not sure yet. This sounds natural, even though the sentence is simple. There is no heavy grammar. No pressure, just communication. Speaking before thinking also helps you break the habit of silence. Many learners stay quiet because they want to create perfect sentences before speaking. But this silence becomes a bigger problem than any grammar mistake. Instead of silence, use simple words. Use short answers. Use what you know. That is fluency. Let's talk about another important technique. Focus on meaning, not form. Meaning is what you want to say. Form is how you say it. Fluency grows when you focus on the meaning first. Imagine your message and then express it in the simplest way possible. You don't need long or perfect sentences. You just need clear ideas. For example, if your message is "I was so tired yesterday because I worked the whole day," you can express it in a simpler form. Yesterday was tiring. I worked all day. Two short sentences, clear meaning, easy to say. And no grammar stress. Try another example. Your message is "I don't know if he will come because he is still at work." You can say it like this: "Not sure if he will come. He's still working." Easy, direct, natural. When you aim for meaning first, your fluency increases because you remove the extra pressure of perfect structure. Now let's talk about something many learners avoid: making mistakes. Mistakes are not your enemy. Mistakes are your teacher. Every time you make a mistake while speaking, your brain receives feedback and slowly adjusts. If you never make mistakes, you never grow. Mistakes are part of fluent language use. Even native speakers make mistakes every day. They repeat words, pause, correct themselves, change sentences. Mistakes are normal in real life. Let's imagine a learner saying, "He don't know." A native speaker might answer, "Oh, he doesn't know." This gentle correction teaches the correct form, but the conversation continues. There is no shame. There is no problem. The message is clear, but if the learner is too afraid to speak, this moment never happens. The learner stays silent. No practice. No improvement. Mistakes create improvement opportunities that silence cannot create. Another powerful step is reducing the pressure to translate everything. Many learners think in their native language first, then translate into English, then speak. This slows fluency. Instead, learn small English chunks that you can use instantly without translating. For example, "I'm hungry." "I'm busy." "I'm ready." "Just a second." "Hold on." "One moment." "That's fine." Sounds good. These small chunks help you speak faster because you don't translate them every time. To break the grammar block, use English more in your daily life, even in small ways. Talk to yourself. Describe what you are doing. For example, "I'm making tea." "I'm getting ready." "I'm cleaning my room." These simple sentences build fluency. You don't need to use advanced grammar while alone. You just need to practice speaking without pressure. Another effective method is shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a sentence and speaking at the same time. It helps your brain copy the natural flow of English. You don't have time to think about grammar. You just follow the sound. This builds automatic fluency. Now let's explore how to relax while speaking because tension increases mistakes. If you relax, your speech becomes smoother. Try this exercise. Speak slowly at first. Many learners think fluency means speaking fast, but fluency means speaking smoothly. You do not need speed. You need flow. Speaking slowly helps your brain produce sentences without stress. Later, speed will come naturally. Imagine saying this slowly: "I want to speak English more naturally." When you say it slowly, your mind stays calm. Your pronunciation improves. Your confidence grows. Then you can speak faster when you feel ready. Another helpful way is practicing with simple topics. Choose easy subjects you know well. Your daily routine, your family, your job, your hobbies. These topics help you practice without heavy thinking. When you practice simple content, you break the fear of speaking. Let's try a simple practice inside this script. Imagine you are describing your morning. You can say, "I woke up." "I brushed my teeth." "I made breakfast." "I went to work." These are simple sentences, but they build fluency because they use common patterns. Let's talk about realistic expectations. You cannot speak like a native speaker immediately. Even advanced learners make small mistakes. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is communication. Fluency is comfort. Fluency is the ability to speak without stopping every few seconds. Another thing that helps is repetition. Repeating the same sentence many times trains your mouth. For example, repeat, I need more practice. I need more practice. I need more practice. After 10 repetitions, it becomes natural. And when a real conversation comes, the sentence appears quickly. Now let's think about confidence. Confidence is not something you get before speaking. Confidence comes after speaking. You speak, you make mistakes, you learn, you try again, you improve. This cycle builds confidence slowly. When you think too much about grammar, you break this cycle. You should also practice speaking with people who make you feel comfortable. A supportive partner helps you speak more freely. It could be a friend, a classmate, or even an online partner. When you feel safe, you speak more. When you speak more, you improve faster. Let's imagine a simple conversation practice. How was your day? Pretty good. Worked a lot. You, not bad. Went shopping. These small exchanges are perfect for fluency. They are short, simple, natural, and realistic. Let's talk about memory. Many learners think they must memorize grammar rules, but memory works better with real examples. If you hear the same pattern many times, your brain remembers it naturally. For example, if you hear people say I gotta go or I'm gonna do it many times, you start to use these forms without studying them. Another helpful step is to accept your speaking level as it is now. Many learners compare themselves with native speakers or advanced learners. This creates pressure. Accept that your English today does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be understandable. With time, it will improve. But if you wait until you feel perfect, you will never speak. Now let's put everything into a short scenario. Imagine you are in a meeting and someone asks you, "What do you think about this idea?" Instead of freezing, you can start with a simple pattern, "I think." Then say your idea in the simplest way. "I think it's good. Maybe we can try it." That's it. Clear, smooth, natural. No grammar stress. Or imagine a friend asks, "Did you watch the movie?" You can answer, "Not yet. Maybe tonight." Again, simple and natural. Let's practice another small dialogue that shows natural fluency. Do you need help? Maybe later. Still working on it. Is it hard? A little. But I'll manage. Here you can see that the sentences are simple, but the communication is smooth. As we reach the end of this part, let's recap the main ideas. Fluency grows when you stop focusing on perfect grammar and start focusing on meaning, patterns, simple structures, and practice. Use short and easy sentences. Use natural chunks. Listen more. Speak without fear. Practice every day, even for a few minutes. Do not wait for perfection. It will never come before speaking. It comes because of speaking. You already have the potential to speak fluently. You just need to let go of the pressure and speak in a simple and natural way. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep believing in your progress. Your fluency is growing every day. Keep going.